Hello everyone, welcome to November's Q&A, sponsored by all my Patreon supporters, so thank you so much for letting me do this. This month we have a special guest, Yamamoto Sensei. Watashi no Nihongo no sensei desu. She's my Japanese teacher, but because we're doing this in English, we'll be kind of casual and she'll just be, what's your name?
Miki.
Miki.
Hi.
Okay, so this month's theme is arubaito, or maybe baito?
Baito.
Yes, and that's part-time jobs. So part-time jobs in Japan. And these are the questions submitted by Patreon supporters. And I kind of generalized them or put them to kind of categories, group them together. And the first kind of question is popular arubaito, popular part-time jobs. So for teenagers, what's a popular part-time job in Japan?
Popular is konbini, working at a convenience store,
Yeah,
and chain restaurant.
right? So family restaurants or
Family
fast food
restaurant.
places.
あとはマクドナルド。マクドナルドです。
McDonald's, right?
マクドナルドとか。そう
Yeah.
ファストフード。
Fast food, okay. Any other types of jobs you think for teenagers? Or?
Teenagers, drugstore, 松本清
Oh,
とか
drugstores, maybe supermarkets too?
Yeah, supermarket, レジ、キャッシャー。
Oh, cashiers, right, okay. All right. And then what about if you're a college or university student?
Yeah, it's pretty much same like McDonald's と
Okay.
か families, but more tutoring.
Tutoring. Okay. So like in Canada, I had people at university do private tutoring. Like one-on-one, you go to their house or maybe you meet at a cafe. Is that what you're talking about?
I think they belong to Juke prep school. Or
Oh, like a
agency,
cram school?
or
Okay.
Agent.
Okay. So it's like tutoring but through a company. Okay. And if they're working at a, like say, a restaurant or something like that, you're telling me before that maybe they won't work at a chain restaurant, maybe they'll go for...
Yeah, maybe more high, very fashionable restaurant like in Aoyama or Omotesando or Roppongi or...
Okay, so those are kind of like cool places in Tokyo. I live in Shitamachi, so not so cool area of Tokyo, so, okay.
And of course, high school students, they cannot work at the evening, night time.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
but the college students can work at even in the evening time, so it's izakaya. Like, not
izakaya.
restaurant,
So it's kind of like a pub, kind
pub.
of. Right. I mean, they're adults, so they can work whenever they want, however they want. There's no rules for them. Okay, and then this one's kind of along the same theme as what are just in general, what are the most common arubaito that are always hiring? I looked something up and they're saying like takuhaibin.
Takuhaibin.
And takuhaibin is like a courier service, so think like FedEx, or in Japan be
Yamato
yeah,
and Sagawa.
Sagawa, right? And so maybe they're sorting out mail and delivering it. You also mentioned shimbun,
Shimbun.
so newspapers.
Delivery. But it's very tough. Tough job, so I don't think it's popular for Japanese students. So nowadays, international students can work that.
Oh, great. So I guess a problem or an issue that Japan and Tokyo has is that there's a lot of jobs available, but maybe the local people don't want to do those jobs. So you have international students working a lot of those jobs. So they're waking up at what time do they wake up to deliver
2 a.m.?
2 a.m. to deliver newspapers, right? Another two popular jobs that I looked up, this is online, I found it. They said working light labor, such as at a warehouse.
Warehouse.
Right? And then maybe, you go to a convenience store or a supermarket and you get bento boxes. So you might be making those bento boxes. That's another popular arubaito. And I was also thinking, though, there's the seniors that do, I don't know if it's called arubaito or not, but they're like silver workers?
Silver workers, but it's not particular, division?
Yeah.
Division? Arubaito.
うん。
But for younger age, arubaito.
Yes.
For senior is pato.
Oh, pato, really? I didn't know that. So you call pato is the word for just part-time work, but for older people.
Older people, pato.
So I've seen them actually at train stations a lot. They're like cleaning things, right? I saw them at senior care homes. They come in and they do work as well. I've seen them at bike attendants. I've seen them at parks too.
Park?
Yeah, like a kids play park, like Kotsukoen, a traffic park. There's all the oji-sans, and they're always
Yes.
like checking out the little cars and bicycles and controlling the traffic.
Silver 人材センター。
Silver Jinsai. So that's like like silver or elderly worker center. So they can get jobs at the special workplace.
Yeah.
Those types of jobs. Okay, I think we've covered that. Next question. So the second group of questions we had was around pay and hours. So one person wanted to know, what is the average pay for these kinds of jobs?
I researched, and the average in Tokyo is 1,126 yen.
Yeah, so that's about $10 US,
US.
I would think. Okay, and then outside of Tokyo?
It's 1,020 yen.
Right, so maybe that's like $9 US. That's the average. So that's
That's
not the
average.
minimum, that's the average. But the minimum is not much lower than that. I think in Tokyo, I kind of feel it's around 900 yen,
900 yen,
is
right.
the minimum. And so, yeah, you don't get paid much more on average for part-time jobs. Okay, another one is vacation time. Do you get vacation time when you're a part-timer?
I don't think so. It's if you have off, it's just you don't get paid.
So you get unpaid work
unpaid.
days. So this is different than where I worked in Canada as a part-time job. You get two options. One is you can get like paid vacation days and kind of like save them up, or it's just 4% of your paycheck. So either way, it's like prorated. So there's nothing like that, you're saying. Okay, and then what about for the mandatory holidays? So in Canada, we call it stat holidays, so like New Year's or Canada Day or Labor Day, Thanksgiving or Remembrance Day. So do you have
Even
those?
in part-time job?
In
It's,
part-time jobs, I think it depends on the province you work for. If you work like 15 out of 30 days in British Columbia, the province I used to live in, then you'll get that paid day. But if you work under that, then you don't get it. But other provinces have different rules. So in Japan, what about?
I don't think they have such kind of holidays for part-time job.
So you don't get paid, it's just day off. Or maybe yes, you have to work because you're probably working at a cafe or like the drugstore and they're still open on these holidays, right? But you get paid a little bit more, right?
Right,
How
right.
much more?
How much more? I don't know, 20%?
I think 25% is what I saw. I think it's 25%. Okay. All right, so how much can you earn at an arubaito?
アルバイト.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the 1,000 yen per hour
Okay, yep.
times 7 hours
Yes.
times 20 days,
Yes.
like 14 万円.
So that's like I'll say $1,400-ish dollars. It's probably a bit less in US, maybe 1,300. What about taxes then?
I heard it's under 1.3 million yen.
So that's like under maybe $12,000 US a year. If you make under that,
You don't have to pay
you don't pay your like income taxes.
income tax.
But you could also have like there's a pension and health insurance system, and so I guess depending on how many hours you work in the company you work for and whether or not you have a spouse that has a high-paying job, all these other considerations, you might have to, or you might be able to be part of that system, and then the company pays half of it,
Right.
and then you pay half of it. So this is kind of like the national health insurance system and national pension system. As a part-timer, is it hard to file and pay your taxes?
I don't.
No,
No,
it's
no,
not. I don't think, maybe she does it. I mean, so the thing is that the company does it for you. You don't file at the end of the year. You don't have to do anything. Like it's all automatically done for
Right,
you. Unlike
right.
in Canada, I'd have to file every year, and same as in the United States as well. So it's very simple. Yeah, if you're just a part-timer. Okay. What about benefits besides, I guess there's no really vacation benefits at all. Sometimes there's health insurance, sometimes there's your pension. Any other benefits that you can think
I
of?
don't think so. It's for part-time job. No.
Okay, there's two that I can think of. Okay, one is flexibility with your schedule.
Yeah.
Because if you're a full-time worker, you kind of have to work for the company. But when you're a part-timer, you have more of a chance to say like, sorry, I don't want to work. Unless you're working for a black company, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the other one is commute.
Commute.
So if you have to take the train or bus to your job, they'll actually pay for that.
Right.
Your transportation costs are covered, which is cool. Okay. So one person says in Germany, after 2 years, you're legally allowed to get a better contract if you're a work student.
That's
What about in
good.
Japan?
No, I don't think so. No benefits, such kind of benefits.
Now, one thing I did read about was that after 5 years, if you have like 1 year contract, 1 year contract, 1 year contract, after 5 years, you can get like an indefinite contract, and that might get you some better pay or better benefits at the company. So maybe that's the only thing I could find out. Okay. Now, one thing that's kind of like cool for me about Japanese like full-time worker system is you get bonuses.
Bonuses.
Like twice a year sometimes?
Right. Oh, of course, it depends on company.
It depends on company, depends how well they do,
Yeah.
right? What about part-timers?
No.
No, no.
Sorry.
No bonus for part-timer. Okay. All right, and the last thing here is just, another bonus or benefit maybe is some places offer cheap accommodations.
Cheap accommodation. Yeah, right. Like dormitory or.
Yeah, like a dormitory. Yeah. So you were talking about a newspaper company. So because you have to wake up so early,
Right.
they have dormitories. So like on the first floor is where they work, and on second floor,
Third floor. Yeah.
dormitories.
Dormitories.
So how much would you pay for that?
I heard it's like 1,000,000 yen or.
So that's like $100. That's really
yeah,
cheap. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty good. Next question. Is it easy for foreigners that know a bit of Japanese to find baito?
For foreigners?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Because we have serious problem about the shortage of manpower in Japan. So, but I don't know, as long as you can read kanji or hiragana or at least you can communicate with in Japanese. Yeah, it's easy.
It's easy to get a job? Now you're saying like maybe 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Oh yeah, 10 years ago. Even working at a convenience store, they require N1.
N1. So N1 maybe takes 2 years of dedicated study, like full time to get N1 maybe, right?
Nobody require it.
Nowadays.
Anymore, nowadays.
No, okay. So you can be like N5 or
N5 or just
lower.
just arrive at Japan.
So I could
or-
get a arubaito if I wanted to.
Of course.
Yeah, and so I did a little research, and they said the type of jobs, if you're don't speak Japanese well, like you can work at a warehouse or the bento place, or delivering newspapers, or in the kitchen of a family restaurant. But if you know more Japanese, you can get jobs at convenience stores, supermarkets, and maybe at the front of house at a family restaurant, so like the
Right.
waiter or the host. Yeah, okay. Next question we got here is, what kind of people seek part-time jobs since most try to be a full-time worker?
I think it's students, college students, high school students, and
Yep.
mothers.
Mothers, okay. Like housewives?
Housewife,
yeah.
they're dealing their kids are going to school.
Ah.
Only, from 9 to 2 o'clock or something like that.
Oh, okay, so they just work like 5 hours in a
Yes.
day. And what about seniors?
Seniors. Yeah, of course, seniors. Yeah.
So I think I noticed something interesting is that where I live, at the higher end grocery store, maybe all the cashiers and people in the bakery were over 50 years
Over
old.
50 years old.
But on like the lower type of grocery stores, just for 24 hours, there's a lot of students and maybe 30 and 40-year-olds working at the place. And the same thing at the 7-Eleven. And where I am, there's not many foreigners. What about where you live?
Yeah, pretty much same, but I hardly see younger age to work around near my
No young
supermarket.
people?
No young people. Where are they?
Where are they? I don't know.
Maybe in Roppongi or Shibuya or
Okay. All right, so the next question is, what's the youngest age whereby one can start a part-time job?
I think it's 15 after graduate from junior high.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think technically it's when you're 15, but also after March 31st.
Right.
Right? So, yeah. So I guess it could be almost close to 16 depending on how it works out calendar year-wise. But yeah, sometime after 15. And what are the limitations?
Limitations, yeah. High school students, they cannot work over 8 hours per day and
Okay.
40 hours per week. And
Right.
they also need their parents' agreement.
Your parents have to sign off when you're working? Okay. And what about the time you can work?
Time, after 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. they can't work during that
Okay, that's good. Because when I was a student in Canada, I'd work graveyard shifts. So that's working from 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. I do that Friday night, Saturday night, work in a kitchen as a dishwasher.
Oh, no, you cannot
When I was
do
in
that
high school.
Japan.
No, you can't do that in Japan. Okay. Now this person says they're from Washington, D.C., and then part-time really adds up to full-time. So if you work at a law firm, for example, a 40-hour per week job is considered part-time. So do people in Japan, are they really working just part-time, like under 40 hours, like 20 or 30 hours, or are they actually working more than 40 hours?
Oh, they are actually, less than 40 hours.
Yeah, I think most people work less than 30 hours.
Yeah,
And if they
30
work
hours.
more, they actually do get paid.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And I think you get more pay too, right? It's like 25% more or something, depending on the hours, overtime. So you do get paid overtime for part-time workers. But if you're a full-time worker,
Of course, it depends on their title or company, but the full-time worker, no, they cannot take that overtime.
you didn't get
money, or
overtime
it's-
pay? Depends. Like if you're like a
Depends.
manager,
Yes,
then you'd
manager,
get
no.
maybe no overtime pay. But if you're lower than that, maybe you would get overtime pay. So it just depends on the situation. Okay. Now, something I'm always confused about with Japanese terms is like, I guess in Canada we just have like part-time, full-time, I think, and maybe contract work. So what kind of job categories do you have in Japan?
Contract.
Or no, what kind of job categories? So you have like seishain is what?
Seishain is full-time.
Full-time salaried
Full-time
worker.
Salary worker.
Okay, and then
That's
part-time
including benefits.
benefits,
yeah.
yeah. And you get like paid national holidays, and you get vacation time too, paid?
Vacation, yes, you do.
Yeah. And so you, what is it like, how many do you get?
It depends, but in my case, 20 days
20 days.
per year.
That's pretty good.
But never use that.
You never use it? Really?
Yeah, that's Japanese standard.
So, but then you have I think there's 16 holidays in
16
Japan
holidays.
that are like national holidays.
holidays.
So you actually got those days off
Right,
though.
right.
Okay, so you got like 16 days off for national holidays.
Plus 20 days.
Plus 20 paid days, but you never took the 20.
No.
So only 16. Maybe. Okay. All right. And then, so that's seishain. And then arubaito is part-time.
Part-time.
Pato, it's just
Is
part-time, but for older
senior
people?
older people.
Okay, what about contract workers? What are they called in Japanese?
契約社員.
Keiyakushain. Okay. And what is that exactly? Like?
契約社員 is most 契約社員 is belonging to their agency,
Agencies? Okay, like,
like ADECO とか Manpower とか.
Oh, okay, so this
human
is
resource.
human resource like staffing agencies. So you work for the agency and then the agency places you in different companies. Okay, so you get contracts at those types of places. And I think I've been reading that that's becoming higher. Like part-time jobs and contract work is increasing in Japan, and then salaried, like seishain type of work is getting lower.
Right.
Yeah. Next question is, are there part-time positions for professional jobs? So like a teacher or manager?
Teachers.
Yeah.
Probably teachers and managers. Like if you retire the company and they hired you again as their part-time special advisor.
Advisor? Okay.
Like that.
So you're saying like your father, he used to work 5 days a week, but then after when he retired,
Yeah.
he worked
3 days.
3 days a week. Okay, so all right, so you can work part-time in professional positions. How often do you get paid?
Once a month.
Once a month. Okay, yeah, I think that's fairly standard across Japan.
I don't know why, but normally the paid day is like 25th.
The 25th is when you get paid.
Yeah.
So that's like the best day. So is it like izakaya is full and like
Yeah, 25th or 26th.
25th? All right, 25th, 26th. Okay. How does someone go about finding a part-time job?
Yeah, anyway, or if you just go in the store, or you can look up the application.
Appri, like just like on your phone, smartphone?
Yeah, town work.
Town work? Okay, so you can download an app and find work. All right, so that's all the official questions we have. Thank you so much for submitting them. And I'll do a little plug for my sensei, Yamamoto sensei now, I'll say. So she does online private tutoring, so you can learn from her anywhere in the world, basically. And it's Nihongo Pro?
日本語プロです。
But it's Nihongo Dash Pro?
日本語日本語ダッシュプ
I
ロ。
think it's Dash
Yeah,
Pro.
Dash Pro.
I'll put the link in the description and stuff. And you still have a few slots available?
Yeah, very few.
She's like, yeah, it's really busy, right? A lot of people want to learn Japanese.
Yeah.
So she's really busy at the work. So, okay. As always, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you on the flip side. ありがとうございます。
ありがとうござい
Bye-bye.
ます。さようなら。